Hi, everyone. Welcome to the team call. So excited to see your happy faces this evening. I don't want to take too much of your time because this is the last day of the month and some of you are still trying to beat your best. But we definitely want to hear from our guest speaker too. So I'll just give a couple quick announcements. But let me see if I see any like new names, first timers on here. Not that I'll really call you out, but I just want to know. I want to check. Well, welcome if this is your first team call. We do this the first and third Tuesdays of the month, and then we do a live power hour, the opposite Tuesdays. So if you haven't gotten that far in your training, basically this is where we do some hands-on. Oh, hang on, let me get some mics muted. But if you're a coach who is learning this business, you do not want to miss team calls, and you definitely don't want to miss live power hours. This is an opportunity to kind of learn from another coach face to face and have accountability to the vital behavior. So definitely do your best to make it on those. But without any further ado, let me get Ashley introduced. But real quick, I want to make sure in case anybody missed this in the team page today, that there is an opportunity to get into the Transform 20 test group for everybody. So I'm not gonna, you can read. So, and you can go to the team page, but I want to make sure that everyone knows that so that you can take a look at it. And if that is something that gets you like excited, it is definitely something to work towards. This is the first time they've ever opened up an opportunity like this to have people qualify. So I think you should take advantage of it. And you should, I mean, the worst case scenario is that you stretch yourself, you push your comfort zone, and you help a lot of people. So win-win as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's all. We're gonna talk. Awesome. Yes, Brooke Castillo. I'm over here in the chat. I asked everybody, if you're not seeing this chat over here, what PD everyone did today. Brooke Castillo, I'm obsessed with her right now as well. Okay, so we have a guest speaker, and I'm going to do my own little intro of why I'm excited to hear from Ashley. I see your face. Thank you so much, Ashley, for being here. So I met Ashley this year. I am working with Josh Coates as like a one-on-one. We had like a one-on-one kind of mentorship thing with him, and he added me to he has like a group message thread of his mastermind clients and his one-on-one clients. And so that's how I was introduced to Ashley. And all I knew from her at that point was just her positivity. She's always in there just like being super positive and cheering people on. I'm like the worst person in a thread because I'm so like MIA. I come and pop in randomly. So like whenever I see her name pop up, she's just super encouraging. But I didn't know a ton about her until we at Summit, and some of you heard from Ashley. If you went to, what was it called? What was that? The one that Josh spoke at? What was it called? Before Summit. What was that event called? Somebody help me out. Power Up I Am. Nobody? Oh, there it is. Let's see. Power Up I Am. So there was an event at that Ashley, and she did like a panel, and I was like, well, dang, Ashley, like I loved her energy. I love what she had to say. And for me, I just think it's really important. I gotta mute somebody. I love hearing from coaches who are, have joined after me and are crushing it, because I have so much to learn from them. You kind of figure out what works for you, and you kind of stay in your lane, and that's a good thing. However, it's really valuable to learn from other coaches who are crushing it and just see what's working, not just for your own business, but if you're trying to lead other coaches, newer coaches, seeing what is working now. And so anyway, I was just loving hearing from Ashley. I was like, I got to get that girl on a team call. Then
Daddy said.
All right, we still have some. Hey guys, mute yourselves if you have not. I think most people automatically get muted, but some of those little stragglers, for some reason, it doesn't automatically do it. So funny story with Ashley was there was a long line for the qualification, the photo op at Summit. If you qualified, you had to stand in a line and wait for your turn to go through the celebrity trainer photo op. And I got at the end of the line because I I had something else before. So it was like last, and at the end of this long line, I hop in line, and I just like I don't know, small talk chatter with the, girl that I was in line behind, and we were just like chatting, and I was like, wait a minute, I know you, but we didn't actually, had never met in person, but it was just random for hundreds of people that were in that line that we would have stood in line together, and I had already decided I wanted to have her on a team call. So it was just bizarre, but not really. And I really, really, really loved what she had to say about mindset. And I just think this is a really important message for everyone to hear, especially for those of you who maybe have struggled in the last year. Ashley can really share some insight with you that I think will be really valuable. The other thing, sorry, I'm taking this time, but I think this is also important to brag on Ashley a bit. This is my personal opinion. When I look at someone like Ashley is also in Micah Folsom's downline. And if you're not, you must be brand new if you don't know who Micah Folsom is. She's a super duper successful coach. And then her upline is Jalen Barnes, who's also a very successful coach. It is always really impressive to me when a coach finds her leadership chops within a larger organization. I think it's really easy, and this is kind of my little soapbox for those of you who are in a team that has had a lot of, recognized success, like, elite for 4 years. And, we were a superstar diamond team. Sometimes I feel like we can cripple ourselves because we have access to so much that we don't run with it, because it's always going to be there when we're ready. And whenever I have an opportunity to talk to a team, whenever I have like a guest speaking opportunity, I make sure that coach, on a team that's very established and has a lot of, success, a history of success, is like to remind them, guys, like, you're at risk of being crippled because you have so much at your disposal, and you can wait for the next push group. You can wait for your coach to run a group. You can wait for the next call. You don't have to run a call because it's all there for you. And that's not a bad thing. We should never reinvent the wheel if it's, when we don't need to. We should really take advantage of those resources as long as we need to, but also recognize when those things are holding us back from us advancing ourselves. So I always think it's really impressive when a coach is able to do that within a larger organization, but still maintain, this is the key, maintain a strong, not leave the nest so entirely that they're not benefiting well from what's already been established. And that's a very, a really great skill set, I think, to know how to like maintain that relationship and like leverage Micah and Jalen's what they have to offer and champion the larger team, celebrate that, but also kind of establish herself. So anyway, sorry, I had to do that because I just think that is something that I admire a lot. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. And now I'm gonna I gotta do her little stats first, and then I'm gonna let Ashley talk. So guys, she is, I'm not sure when you actually advanced to 5-star, but she's a 3-star coach and she's a 5-star qualification in her first CBC, and also a 1-star qualifying coach in her second CBC. That's a lot of diamonds going on there. And she is a Success Club 5 legend for 37 months. That is 3 solid years of helping at least 3 people a month. She's super consistent. I'm mute over here. She's already achieved the qualifications for Premier for this year. So she's already locked in to be a Premier coach this year. And she's been in the top 100 in the elite rankings all year long. So yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's doing a great job. She's got momentum on her side. And apparently her mindset, the mindset that she adopted, had a lot to do with it. So let me shut my mouth and let Ashley take over. Thank you so much for your time, Ashley. I truly appreciate you being here. We can't wait to hear from you.
Oh my gosh, guys, like all the bucket list moment is happening right now. I am so honored to be here. Like, you have no idea. And yes, like Megan said, it's the last day of the month. So we are going to like bust this out so everybody can get back to like changing lives. And I'm going to apologize. I keep trying to switch back and forth between my Wi-Fi and my hotspot on my phone. I just have the worst internet ever. So it's going to happen. There's going to be moments I sound like a robot. So hopefully my internet kind of cooperates with us tonight. Okay. So, I want to I think it's crazy to hear like that I'm like 5-star qualifying and SC 37 months and whatever, because like I was the person who literally a year ago was calling my mom on the last day of the month in July, asking her to buy a challenge pack under a new email address so that I would get the points, and I will cash app you to pay for it. And I was going to get a like 20 billionth bag of Shakeology, and that I've consistently hit Success Club for 37 months, but some of those months like was not because I helped 3 people. It was because I was like helping people, and it's stressful. It sucks to do that. It's not fun. And there were times that I thought I was going to drop rank in my diamond, that I was like calling my sister and like, hey, I'll pay for it. I need you to buy a challenge pack, and making sure my preferred placement is right so she ends up on the right leg because I didn't want to drop rank. And it sucked. This place of maintenance and just never getting ahead and just constantly feeling like I was stuck. It was just terrible. And I went from that to my highest SC month I've had is I hit SC 52 in May. And this month, I'm going to be honest, this is going to sound a little snotty, I've kind of lost track. I think I'm at like SC 50. So, and again, I was paying for people to buy challenge packs a year ago. So like as soon as I got my mindset flipped around, I started easily hitting at least Success Club 20. So the main bulk of this call is going to be, I don't want it to be like all about my story. I want it to be what I did, because I want it to be like actionable stuff you guys can do. So make sure you've got like your notebooks and stuff, because I'm going to go like as fast as I can so everybody can get through to working on their power hours. But I went to, I'm going to like go back and forth in my story like 10 billion times, and it's fine because I'm just scatterbrained and I'm a squirrel, and that's just who I am. So I went to this retreat last September, and my life freaking changed. There are like 4 weekends of my life that I can pinpoint my life changing. And that was like when I got married, and when my oldest was born, and when my baby was born, and when I went to this retreat. And the day before the retreat, I thought I was going into labor. I was a week away from being induced with my baby, and thought I was going into labor. My husband was out of town, and he told me he couldn't come home. He was out of town for work. He told me he wasn't going to be able to come home. They wouldn't let him. And I had a like full-blown meltdown that I was like, I'm not going into labor by myself. Like, I need you to come home. And that I seriously get goosebumps every single time I talk about this. That was like the moment that everything flipped in my brain, that I was like, I am done with this life. I am done having your work is literally telling you may have missed the birth of our child because you're too busy paving a road in another state. Like, this is stupid, and I am done. And we are going to make Beachbody work. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'm barely hitting Success Club, but I'm going to do something, because something's got to give. And I went to this retreat because I was a 2-star, and I honestly was the emptiest 2-star you can like literally imagine, because I had like 2 emeralds and they were both diamonds. It was my sister who built herself and had a way bigger team than me. And then it was my husband, and he obviously had 2 emeralds, because you have to have emeralds to be a diamond. One of those was my mom that had my dad and my stepdad under her. And the other one was a girl who built herself to emerald, signing up her husband and her mom, who lasted just long enough to qualify, and then she quit. That's it. That was my whole organization of builders. And I felt like the biggest fraud going to this retreat as a 2-star, because I had 2 builders. One of them was my sister, who had a team that was like 12 times as big as mine. And everything changed for me at that retreat. So I'm going to talk about the 5 things that changed. Okay, you ready? Number 1. I found my why. I kind of just hinted on this a little bit, but I needed to retire my husband. I needed to bring him home from that job. And seriously, his job gets me so freaking fired up. I was so done with that job. And so he was very opposed to the idea of retiring him, because Beachbody's not stable enough. And what if your income doesn't last? And what if a builder quits and your volume drops? And what if you have a month you can't make Success Club? And what if? And and he was like, well, I like my job. And I was like, I don't care that you like your job. I hate your job. If you want to stay married to me, we need to find you another job. Wasn't quite that desperate. You know what I mean? So I told him, like, I just decided in my head, he's going to retire. He's going to get a new job. He's going to get a new job. I don't know what that job is, but he's going to get a new job. And in order for him to get a new job, there's no way he's going to make the same amount of money, because the job he was at paid an really high amount anyway, and he was working 80 hours a week. So his overtime was insane. So we knew, like, there's no way we were going to find a job that matched that pay. So I knew my income had to come up in order for him to quit that job. So I had a why in terms of a goal and something to think about every day. When I got up and did my power hour and was thinking about how bad it sucked that he was gone at a job and I wished he was home, I thought about that, and I had a number attached to my why. I had an income amount that I knew I needed to make X amount. I'll just tell you, whatever, no point in being vague. I needed to make $5,000 a month. That was my goal. I was barely making $1,000. So I needed like a big jump to go from from 1,000 to 5,000. So, but every day I got up and I thought about that I had a why. I want Jake to come home from his job and I need to make $5,000 to make that happen. And it took him until I was past $5,000 before he would even consider the idea. But he did quit. He left that job in February and got a new job he absolutely loves, that is like a normal 9-to-5 job that he just got a promotion at, and he's freaking killing it, and he's happy, and he's home, and life is amazing. So I had to find a new why, but that still totally motivates the heck out of me, that he and I talk about it all the time, that part of my why is to never have to go back. Because in 2000, he worked at this job it's a summer job. I didn't really talk about that. He worked at this job in the summer of 2017, because last year was when I hit my breaking point, but he also did it in the summer of 2016. And in the winter of 2016, he got laid off and he had to go back the next year, even though I had said, I'm never going to let you go back to that job. I'm going to make Beachbody work. I'm going to. And so that's why this is only step one. You have to have more than a why, but you have to know what your why is. You have to start here. You have to know what your why, and it has got to, like, I've always heard like your why needs to make you cry. I think that's great, but I heard it better at Summit. You got to find your fight. What are you fighting for? What are you like, no, I am doing this. Like, and finding your fight is not like, I want to help people. Like, you're not going to fight for that. Like, this has got to be something you are fighting for. Like, what are you going to knock down, drag out, come hell or high water? You are not going to let anything get in your way. Okay. Number one, find your fight. Number two, I put my blinders on. Like Megan said, I am in a freaking amazing team. Ashley Smith, who has been in the top 10 twice and is currently in the top 10 for the third year in a row, is also in Micah's downline. And she has 3 or 4 elite coaches. So there is like and then Micah has 2 other coaches that are 5-star or above. And so there's lots of very big names in my team. And the Success Club boards, Micah's Success Club board she posts every week, I'm sure it looks a lot like your guys's. There's like 50 billion names. And it's very easy to look on those boards and see how many, literally hundreds of people have more Success Club points than you, or recruited more coaches than you, or have more volume than you, or to get in the team page every Thursday and see, oh, look, somebody's Star Diamond advanced. They found a diamond. How come I can't find a diamond? They're shouting out an emerald. How come none of my coaches will go emerald? And I just decided to get out of my head. I'm just going to, like, all the blinders. I'm just not going to look at anybody. I have some amazing coach friends that I love with my whole soul, and I unfollowed every single one of them on Facebook and Instagram because I just couldn't get on anymore and see that they had 75 people on their live video and I had 4. Why does no one like me? That I just needed to stop looking at all of them. And I'm just going to do my best. How can I be better today? How can I be better at my nutrition? How can I be better at providing value? How can I be better at doing my own workout? How can I be better at checking into my accountability group? How How can I be better at showing up in my stories? How can I be better at loving on people? Did I build more connections today than I did yesterday? Did I sell more challenge packs this month than I did last month? Did I help more coaches one-on-one this month? Even if that doesn't mean they hit Success Club. Did I tell my coaches I love them? Did I, like, whatever. I found my own, like, just Ashley. I am just beating Ashley. I don't care about anybody else. I love them, obviously. And when I say I don't care, like, I mean that in a I'm gonna not look at you kind of way. Like, I'm just gonna do me. I'm just gonna do what can I do? What can my team do? We're not gonna look at anybody else. And it totally works. I'm gonna put in a clause right here. It's important to look at what other people are doing to be successful, but there's a difference between looking at what people are doing to be successful, and you know that. When you're looking at someone and you're comparing, that's not someone you're looking at to be successful. That's someone you're comparing yourself to, and that's not fair. And it's important, like for me, if I were to compare myself to how come Melanie Mitro got 75,000 likes on her transformation picture and I didn't, like, that's not fair. That's not fair. Her following's like a gajillion times bigger than mine. And she's like, Melanie Mitro, like, hello. So you have to be very careful about your blinders, and you are just focusing on being better than yourself. And then along those lines, I had been that person who I have said I was going to push for elite every single year I've been a coach, and never come even remotely close. And my team was in the thousands last year and the year before. So the fact that we are currently number 78 and like a month away from having elite locked in, before the year's even over, has my brain like, how is this my life? But I decided, okay, in order for me to hit elite, I've tried saying that I have two or three coaches who want this, and that's how we're going to do it. We're going to hit 5-star because my 3 builders they're going to go diamond, they're going to hit Success Club every month, and then I'm going to build my husband and my second CDC, and that's our 5-star. And that's all I need to do. I just need to make these 3 people figure out how to hit Success Club, but that's all I need to do. Okay, like, this is a numbers game. That's not how it works. If you have 3 builders, you have like 0.3 builders. And so I decided, okay, if I want to end, originally I started the year with the goal that I wanted to be 10-star. And so, okay, if 10 of my coaches go diamond, for some reason my brain was like, that means I need 100 people who tell me they want to build the business. So I started a Google sheet called 100 Builders. That every time someone would sign up and told me they wanted to build the business, I would add their name to this Google sheet. And I'm not at 100 yet, but I am at like 60, and I was at like 30 in February, or was it February? Yeah. So, and all of this transformation stuff in my brain happened in September. So I'm almost at a year and I still don't have 100. But like I said, last September I had 2. So I'm doing a heck of a lot better than I was a year ago, because I'm telling my brain I'm looking for 100 people that want me. And there are a bajillion people in this world who want to get paid to be the best them that they can be. And that's what we do as coaches. So I'm going to go find them. And they want me. There are hundreds, there are thousands of people up there that want me, and I need to go find them. But I have to train my brain to look for them instead of looking at all the coaches around me that I wish I could be as good as them. I'm not going to focus on all my coach friends who I love with my whole heart. I'm going to find these people that are looking for me. So that was number 2, blinders. And you got to you set a number on how many people you're looking for, and then go freaking find them. Okay. Number 3, I think this is like the biggest one, and this is the one that I could talk about for like 4 hours. Limiting beliefs. I had so many limiting beliefs because, like I said, I had a why. My husband had this job the summer before. I wanted him to quit this job. So it's not that I didn't have a why. I had some limiting beliefs, and I didn't know they were limiting beliefs because I think the sucky thing about limiting beliefs is they camouflage themselves so well you don't know they're limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief, in my experience, is when you're like, I am going to be perfect with my nutrition. I'm gonna rock this test group. I'm gonna be perfect. I'm gonna do everything right. I'm never gonna eat a cookie ever again. And then you have like a bad day and you eat a cookie and then it turns into 10 cookies and then you feel terrible and you tell yourself you're going to get up again the next day and you're going to start over and you're going to be perfect and you're never going to mess up ever again. And you make it like a week and it's the same. You set the same goal and have the same result over and over and over again. You tell yourself you're going to have a perfect month on your power hour and you make it like 3 days and then you mess up and you miss a day. So you tell yourself you're going to do like a 10-hour power hour tomorrow to make up for it. And then you don't do a power hour for a week and then you beat yourself up and you feel terrible. So you set a new goal. I'm going to do a perfect power hour and you make it like 3 days and then you suck again. It's when you get in that perpetual cycle, that's how you know you found some sort of limiting belief, because you set the same goal and have the same action and you keep getting tripped in the same spot. So there's a root there that's tripping you. You got to find it. So some of my limiting beliefs, it helped a lot. Josh Coates came to that retreat in September. So he was there like face to face, ripping them out of me. And I had no idea they were there. I had no idea some of the things that were my limiting beliefs. So I'm going to go through like a couple of them super, super, super fast. So I had a limiting belief that you cannot be good at multi-level marketing and be a good mom. And a lot of this, back up. I'm going to start with the surfacey and then I'm going to get down to what it really was. So you can see like, okay, no, that doesn't even make sense. Because that's the thing about limiting beliefs. They don't even make sense. So, but in my head, I'm like, you can't build this huge $1 million business and not put your kids in daycare or have a nanny. And I don't want that. I want to be present in my kids' lives and I want to be present. And I think it's stupid to pay somebody to raise my kids. And I don't want that. So I guess I just can't be successful because all the successful coaches talk about how they have a nanny. And so I kept going with this, like, don't want a nanny, can't be successful. Like, that's it. That's where the train was stopped. And Josh helped me realize it's like all the way down here. My mom freaking crushed multi-level marketing when I was a kid. She earned a free vehicle with Discovery Toys, Pampered Chef, Mary Kay, and Tupperware, and spoke at their version of International Summit in all 4 companies. I don't know why she didn't stick with one, but that's another story. She freaking crushed multi-level marketing. She's good at it or was good at it. She doesn't do it anymore. And back then, you did everything with parties because obviously we didn't have social media. So she would go to all these parties at night. And my dad has bipolar and he's just mentally not there. And so he would get really ornery that she was leaving again to go to a party. And so he would tell her, I vividly remember multiple times, him telling her that if she leaves to go to these parties, that he couldn't guarantee me and my sisters would be alive when she got home. And she had this obligation to go to these parties. My mom was the sole income earner. And so she couldn't back out. People had snacks and had invited everybody and had a house full of people and they'd clean their house and they were waiting for her. She needed to go. So she would go anyway. And then she would come home after the party and yes, she'd made a crap ton of money, but she and my dad would fight all the time. And when I was 13, my parents got divorced. And I had somehow associated in my head that that's multi-level marketing's fault. Now, obviously, my dad's got some stuff going on. That's not multi-level marketing's fault. That, everything that happened with my parents, that has nothing to do with what my mom did for a job. That's my dad. But it had totally, my head was multi-level marketing leads to divorce. Leads to your kids thinking you have bad priorities. This is all rooted in multi-level marketing. So therefore I had decided you can't be successful at multi-level marketing and still be a good mom. So as soon as Josh ripped that out of me, my brain was oh, that doesn't even make sense. I know from experience, coaching makes me a better mom because I don't know about you guys, but if I eat to be mindset and I'm eating lots of veggies and I'm having lots of water, and 10 to 1, I'm not going to eat all the junk food. And junk food doesn't make me feel good. So then I'm ornery and I feel like somebody's trying to open my door. Hi, Case. So then I'm ornery and I don't feel good. And I'm on a team call. I don't know who's on the team. Who's at the park? She was. Do you want to play with my phone?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you go play with my phone. Mom's going to finish her call and I'll be right out. Okay? Okay. Thanks. Love you. So it made it so like I'm a better mom. I'm more patient when I follow my nutrition plan. That's what I was saying. When I work out, I'm like a billion times more patient. I have not worked out yet today, and it's been hanging over my head I've literally been awake for like 13 hours. I need to go get my freaking workout in as soon as I'm done with this. And I get all my share carts sent out for everybody who wants to capitalize on the Lift 4 test group. But like I'm a better mom because of coaching. So me thinking that like being successful will affect my ability to be a good mom, that's freaking BS. They are tied to each other. The better I get at this business means I'm better at taking care of myself. And the better I am at taking care of myself, the better my marriage is, the better my parenting skills are, the better I am as a mom. They are related. They're not like you have to do one or the other. But I had no idea that limiting belief was there. So that's one of my limiting beliefs. And then I'm going to talk about, I didn't think I was a good leader. So like I said, I only had 2 builders. And so I just felt like I was this terrible leader, and I signed people up and they only make it like 2 weeks and blah, 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 blah. And it all stemmed from, Josh helped me realize it all stemmed, my baby's crying. It sounded like she bonked. She's in a creative stage. Dad's downstairs. Hopefully he's got her. It all stemmed from, I had a girl who was under me that had all these great goals, and she wanted to go diamond, she wanted to hit Success Club, she wanted to earn a free ticket to Summit so she could meet Shalene and da-da-da-da-da. And she wasn't seeing success in her business because she wasn't doing a power hour, and she wasn't getting results, and she wasn't doing personal development, and she wasn't recognizing, hey, imagine that. Those are the 4 freaking vitals. And she messaged me and told me that I was a really crappy leader and it was my fault she wasn't seeing success in the business. And I remember saying out loud to Jaylyn, because I messaged Jaylyn, and I was like, what do I say back? And she was like, girl, that's not even true. And I remember talking it out that I was like, no, it's not true. I am a good leader, and I consistently hit Success Club, and I'm sharing in my team, and I run really good accountability groups, and I've never abandoned her, and she has access to Micah's training, and like I'm a good leader. But like that firmly planted in my head that she's right. You're a terrible leader. Why would anybody ever join you? You're never going to find a builder who actually wants to build this business. Why would anybody want to be under you? And so when I would find a builder and they would quit in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or stop interacting in the team page or whatever, my brain would go, ha, see, there's your proof. There's your proof. You're a terrible leader. Why would anybody want to join you? You're just terrible. No one wants anything to do with you. And I was on this cycle for 6 months before my retreat with Josh. And they talked about like, no, none of that is true. The definition of a good leader is someone who provides who empowers people. It's not that like I sign people up and then I disappear and I never talk to them ever again, because that's like dishonest. I'm not doing that. People message me and have a question, I totally message them back. People they want to sign up a new challenger and they want a group to plug them into, I totally let them plug them into my groups. Like all of those things are the definition of a leader. So I just started. So anyway, I know I am a good leader. I am a good leader. And the way that you counteract these limiting beliefs, once you find them, because it's ugly to find them. Once you find them, you're like, oh my gosh, that is so ugly. So then you have to make affirmations. This is 3B. So you find the limiting belief, then you have to find the affirmations. So I have affirmations that I say every day about, so my leadership ones are like, I have a whole bunch, but the ones I'm remembering off the top of my head, because I lead with confidence and positive energy, I find coaches who are also confident and have positive energy. And because of how that affirmation is phrased, it tells my brain, if you want to find people who are positive and have good energy, you better be that kind of person, because that's how you're going to attract them. And I have affirmations about, I keep finding amazing, inspiring people who want to stick around. Okay, like I said, last September, I would sign a builder and they'd stick around for 2 weeks. When I started saying that, it was not true. But I trained my brain I keep finding, so that my brain would look for proof that I keep finding people. Not everybody quits on me. I can't, because I am an amazing leader who recruits other amazing leaders. My team is a top elite team. So it trains my brain, no, you're a good leader and you recruit amazing people. And that's why your team is ranked where they are, which helps me look at my team in a positive light. Because then I'm like, oh, well, we are ranked number 78. So that's because I'm a good leader and my team's kicking butt. And that's what affirmations do. They retrain your brain to shut out the negative beliefs. So it's not just that I wake up and say affirmations about, I am limitless, I am powerful, I am blessed, those are great affirmations. I don't mean to use my condescending voice, but like, that's not, affirmations have to they're like dynamite to your limiting beliefs. So they have to be very targeted. Otherwise they're like annoyingly knocking on the door. Like, you want to blow the freaking door up. So they have to be very intentional and very focused towards the limiting belief. So you have to find the limiting belief first. So if you don't have access to Josh Coates and finding limiting beliefs with a life coach walking you right through it, the book, it's not called what's it called? Badass at Making Money from Jen Sincero. Is it called How to Be a Badass at Making Money? Why can I not remember what that book's called? I've read it like 8 times, whatever that book is called. That one, she talks about limiting beliefs, and a lot of them are tied to money, but you'd be surprised how many limiting beliefs you have tied to money. That's a very good book. You Are a Badass at Making Money. Thank you. That's what it's called. And then Finish from John Acuff. He kind of talks about limiting beliefs a little bit. And then I just finished Like She Owns the Place from, I don't even know what her name is. She's the girl that wrote Girl Code. That one is really good too. So, and then I'm just going to throw it in there. I don't know if you guys are bothered by this, but I always like to throw the disclaimer out. You Are a Badass at Making Money obviously swears. It's not crazy, but it does swear. And Like She Owns the Place swears a little bit too. Finish, I don't think there's any swear words in there. So, and all 3 of those are really, really good on Audible. The readers are all on point on Audible. So those books totally walk you through like finding limiting beliefs. So finding limiting beliefs is massive, especially if you have a why, if you have a goal, if you know what you're pushing for and you still are struggling to hit it, you're hitting a limiting belief. So you have to find your limiting belief. Okay, that was number 3. I promise I'm almost done. Okay, number 4. I stepped up as a leader. So let's back up. The day I gave birth, so 5 days after my retreat that I went to that like totally changed my life, I had my little girl and everything was happy and I was cuddling her and they wheeled me into recovery after being in the delivery room. And I looked down at my phone and had a text from Jaylyn. She is my upline and she is one of my best friends. Saying that her husband had been attacked at work. He is a police officer. My husband and her husband are best friends. And my husband is he's not a police officer, but he's very heavily involved in the police community. And we instantly started getting texts from local news stations talking about what had happened. And she was like, I know he's alive because he just called me, but I don't know what happened. And my baby was literally an hour old. So like, obviously my emotions were like, not so much. And we're freaking out, like trying to figure out if he's okay, if he's in critical condition, like what's going on. So it's an absolute miracle, but he was okay. But like lots of trauma, lots of surgery, lots of stress. And so she messaged me a couple days later that she was like, and I felt amazing. My delivery went great. I felt amazing. So she was like, are you okay kind of helping run the Emerald pod? Because we have at the time, had our team broken into pods. So we had like a new coach pod and then an Emerald and above pod and then like a Diamond pod. And I was like, yeah, sure. I could totally help run the Emerald pod. And when my baby was 5 days old, she went in, she was 11 weeks pregnant. She went in to get her ultrasound and they could not find her baby's heartbeat. And so she called me and she was like, I don't know what to do. Greg is still in the hospital. They need me to go to the hospital to do an ultrasound because they can't find the baby's heartbeat. And I was like, do you want me to come up there? And she lives like an hour away. She's like, no, my sister's coming down. And she called me like an hour later and her baby had died. And so she absolutely shut down and went to like absolute survival mode, trying to get through everything. And she messaged me and she was like, I need you to take over the new coach pod too. I'm so sorry. I know you have a 5-day-old baby, but like, I can't, I'm like struggling to eat. Like, I'm not even eating. Like and I'm like, no, you're good. Like, you're good. Yes, I will take over the new coach pod. So while she's going through like intense grief therapy and her husband's recovering and she had to have like a DNC and transported via ambulance and all this horrible, horrible, traumatizing stuff, I took over the team. And like I said, at the time I had 2 builders, and one of them had a way bigger team than me. So I didn't really feel like I had a team to manage anyway. So it was kind of cool to have, like, feel like I was a leader. And all these girls like totally looked up to me because, oh my gosh, Ashley McClellan's a 2-star. And I'm like, guys, like, I have 2 builders. Like, guys, I'm not, like, whatever. Don't idolize me, whatever. And I started seeing the questions these girls had were the same questions my coaches would get that had been signed up for like 2 or 3 weeks and then would quit. So it started to train my brain, like, wait, you're not a bad leader. These people have the same questions as your coaches. It's not that you're like recruiting idiots. Everybody has the same questions when they're a new coach. And you just need to like love on them a little bit and be a little bit more patient with them. Because I was like extra patient with Jaylen's coaches because they're her coaches, not mine. I don't want people to quit because I was rude. And so I was like super good at helping her coaches. And her coaches started rank advancing, and her coaches started hitting Success Club. And I like caught that bug of like, oh my gosh, somebody I helped like hit a rank, or they hit Success Club, or they whatever. And they weren't my coaches, but I felt like I was part of something. And I felt like I caught that, like, oh my gosh, look, I helped somebody. I helped somebody see success. I helped somebody have their first $500 a month. I helped somebody, whatever, because of somebody I was mentoring. It wasn't somebody I personally sponsored. And all of a sudden, everybody in Jaylen's team started growing. And we went from, despite everything that was going on with Jaylen and her husband, we went from a 6-star team to a 10-star team like that. We went straight from 6 to 10. And like, it was amazing to see the energy shift in the team. And I felt like I was a part of it. I didn't go 10-star. Jaylen went 10-star. But I felt like I was a part of it. And as a result, my team exploded because I caught the energy. I caught the bug. And that comes, there's a quote that I'm totally going to butcher it, but it's something about the way that you interact in your uplines team is how your team will interact with you. If you decide that you think it's dumb to hit diamond so that your upline can rank advanced so they can get recognized at summit and they can get a bonus and they can get elite and they can whatever, guess what your coaches are going to think about you. But if you decide, I want to hit diamond and I want to hit Success Club and I want to help all the other coaches on the team see it too so that they can see how awesome this is, guess what your coaches will do? So I dug in hard to loving on my uplines team and mentoring them and loving them and supporting them. And sometimes that was something as simple as coming in and saying, guys, I just finished 5-second rule. Y'all need to read it like today because that book just changed my life. Sometimes it was something as simple as coming in and saying, I just used this invite wording and it's totally working. I just had 5 people ask for info. You guys should use it too. It's not that I came in and was like, I'm going to put on my leader hat and I'm better than all of you because I'm a 2-star and I'm a leader. Like, it was not that. It was just, this is what's working for me and I love it. You guys should try it too. I started giving. If you haven't read Go Giver, how many personal development books have I mentioned? If you haven't read Go Giver, like, that one's amazing. But I just started giving everything I could to Jaylen's team, not to my team. And as I started growing the team, obviously I gave to my team too, but like, I started giving everything I could to Jaylen's team or to Micah's team, because Micah started having coaches that were like, girl, what are you doing? Then I'm like, I will tell you, here's all my scripts, here's all my personal development books, here's my format for this, here's everything, here's how my whole power hour, here's everything, because I want to help people in the team. It's not just that I want to help people so I can hit Success Club. I want to help like the whole freaking team, and it's totally a goal of mine to speak on the National Wake Up Call, because I want to help the whole freaking team, because we're all Team Beachbody. So that's number 4, is step up and be a leader and be a team player and help everybody, not just your downline, not just your coaches, not just your customers. Help everybody. Love on everybody. Want everybody to succeed and be the kind of person on a team that you want to recruit. So if you go crazy MIA, don't be bugged when you recruit coaches who go crazy MIA. Okay. Number 5, I'm taking forever. You guys need to go do like all the blitzing for locking in Success Club. Okay. Last one. Number 5. I got so freaking intentional. So I obviously, when my business exploded, was literally 5 days before I had a baby. So I have done all of this with a very little kiddo. She is 10 months. And I, like I said, have a limiting belief about being good at multi-level marketing and being a good mom. It is very important to me that I'm a stay-home mom. It is very important to me that I be the one that raised my kids, that I be intentional with them, and that my kids don't grow up always seeing mom looking at her freaking phone. So I started implementing Miracle Morning. I get up and normally, obviously not today, because like I said, I haven't worked out yet, but normally I get up and do a lot of personal development and my affirmations and my visualization and my workout before my kids even wake up. And then I'm present as a mom. My kids go down for a nap, and then I bust out a power hour, and I'm really intentional. I do the Josh Coates style. So it's like 20 connections, 10 invites, and add to your network every day. Something super simple, super basic, but I'm super consistent at it. So the compound effect totally works. You do not have to do these 10-hour power hours of sending 7,000 invites. Just send 10 invites 5 days a week for every day for the rest of your life. I mean, for every week, because I said 5 days a week. Don't do it 7 days a week because it's important to rest and recharge. 5 days a week for the rest of your freaking life. And like, it works. Like I said, I had success with 52. Like, I'm not sending 10,000 invites. I'm just sending 10. And so I got really, really consistent with my power hour and just 20 connections, 10 invites, add to my network. And I could do it on a like super focused day. I can do it in 20 minutes. Like, I can just bust it out. And then the rest of the day is I'm checking in my accountability group, and I'm checking my notifications, and I'm checking my messages and replying back to the 20 connections and the 10 invites. But the initial, like, get it out and send it, I can do it really, really, really fast. So, and then I really obviously upped my personal development, because how many books have I mentioned? I remember telling Jalen, Micah always talked about how, and Josh talks about this, that your family should not have to sacrifice anything for you to hit your goals. You sacrifice things so that you can hit your goals. So you wake up earlier, you cut out Netflix, you stay up later, whatever. And I remember being like, I think I literally did say this to Micah, that I was like, you know what, someday when I like speak at Summit, because I'm a 27,000 star, they are going to ask me how I do it and what I had to give up. And I'm going to say, well, I didn't have to give up Netflix. I still watch 7 hours of Grey's Anatomy a day. And last year I realized that is like totally not possible, because I have just a very addictive personality. I turn on one episode of a show and I wake up 4 seasons later. Like, I cannot just watch one episode. And so I don't watch Netflix anymore. And instead of spending that 4 to 5 hours a day that I was watching Netflix, I do 2 to 3 hours of personal development every single day. And I made a goal at the beginning of the year to read 75 personal development books this year. And I don't have my list in front of me, but I think I'm at 43. So I'm like, and I needed to be at 44 at the end of this month. So I'm like on track for hitting my goal, which I'm freaking proud of. And my mindset is in a really good place, because rather than being filled with Netflix, it's filled with personal development. And there's a popular quote going around. I'm like quoting my Spotify motivational playlist. There's a popular quote going around about the person you will be in 5 years is based off of the books you read and the videos you watch today. That is totally true. If you want your brain to be filled with garbage, fill your brain with garbage. If you want your brain to be filled with successful thoughts, fill your brain with successful things. Surround yourself with successful people. And if you want your brain to be fit, if you want to be healthy in 5 years, surround yourself with healthy people. Hey, we kind of already do that. And if you want to be wealthy in 5 years, surround yourself with wealthy people. Listen to personal development books from people who are wealthy. Listen to top coaches who are making like insane, blow your mind amounts of money, so that you can have that too. Like, surround yourself with the people you want to be like. So that's part of Get Intentional, is I like super, super up to my PD, cut out Netflix. I started delegating stuff that I didn't really want to do. So I got a house cleaner so that I could spend that time either with my kids or doing my power hour, instead of just constantly being stressed about how messy my house was. I just paid somebody else to clean my house so that I can be with my kids or I can work on my business. And my house cleaner comes every other week, and it's $100. And so that means in a month I spend $200. That means with that extra time that I'm not spending cleaning my house, I need to sell 5, well, not with how much the commissions have changed, like 3 to 4 challenge packs. You better believe that with the fact that I've found 10 extra hours of time that I can either be more intentional with my kids or that I can put into my power hours, I'm selling a hell of a lot more than 3 to 4 extra challenge packs. So it paid for itself, and my house is always clean. Like, yes, I have to tidy. Like, she doesn't come every day. I have to keep things picked up. I have to do laundry and dishes. Like, I don't scrub blinds and baseboards and toilets anymore. She does that. So I delegated stuff I didn't want to do. And the last one there's 2 more really fast that are in the get intentional bracket. I turned off my messenger notifications. If you have not done this yet, do this. Like, it's so stressful, especially if you're in pods, to like walk away from your phone for a little bit and you come back and you miss like 50,000 messages that you're like, I can never walk away from my phone ever again because look what happened when I walked away from my phone. I missed 5 billion messages. You just turn the notifications off so that when you're ready to go look at your messenger, you go look at the notifications. So I like it's the greatest thing ever. Because I have certain blocks of time that I go look at my messages, and the rest of the day, I have no idea if I have 7,000 messages or 2, because my phone's not lighting up telling me, look at everything you're missing, because my phone doesn't tell me. So I turned off my messenger notifications. And then the last one in that get intentional, number 5 one, is I intentionally unplug every day and every week. I have certain blocks of time that my phone is literally charging on another floor in my house because I'm that addicted to looking to my phone that I have to put it upstairs when I'm downstairs, or I have to put it downstairs when I'm upstairs, because I will go get it and I will look at it. So when I'm with my kids and it's playtime or laundry time or dishes time, or we're listening to the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack, or we're watching Harry Potter for the 50,000th time, that my phone is nowhere to be found because I am building memories with my kids and I'm being present as a mom. Or at night when my kids are in bed, I charge my phone in the bathroom. It's a 5-second rule thing, because not only do you have to, I forgot to say this in number 2, not only do you need to listen to personal development, you need to implement it. If they tell you to do something, you do it. So Mel Robbins told me to charge my phone in the bathroom. So my phone sleeps on my bathroom counter and has slept on my bathroom counter for almost a year. And so when my kids go to bed and my phone is plugged in the bathroom, it's very intentional husband-wife time. And we can talk, or we can watch Netflix, or we can Netflix and chill or whatever, but my phone is not there, and I'm not sending people share cards, and I'm not thinking about my business, and I'm not checking my notifications, and I'm not looking at my messages because my phone is in another room. And on Sundays, I don't do anything with my business on Sundays. I am very present with my family. I post and I do my stories because that screws up the algorithm, and I want to show people I live a normal life, but I don't reply to messages. And if somebody messages me asking for information, or, well, if they message me, I'm not even going to open it. But if somebody comments and says they want information, I'll comment and say, I'll message you back first thing tomorrow. I do not work on Sundays. And you can pick Saturday or Wednesday. I would never pick Wednesday because that's a stressful beach body day. But like, you can pick Thursday. You can pick whatever day you want. It doesn't have to be Sunday, but have a day that you're focused and you can recharge, because you better believe on Monday when I come back and I have a crazy full inbox from everybody that messaged me back Saturday night and Sunday and Monday morning before I got a chance to look at my phone, I feel ready to talk to them. And I don't feel drained because I spent time with my family prioritizing. And there's that whole quote about don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. I make a life on the weekend. I build a life that I want to remember, that I want my kids to remember, that I want my husband to remember. And then on Monday, when it's time to work again, I'm ready to work because I remember why I'm doing this. And it lights me up because, anyway, so that was so long. I went so long. I am so sorry. And I've totally ignored all the comments. I'm going to go look at them super fast.
Let me see if I can help you dig some out of there. But while I'm looking, like, oh my gosh, Ashley, like, I have no words. Everything you said was just gold. I mean, I love you so much. You're amazing. Let's see. Was there any, I don't know if I saw any questions, a lot of comments. Does anybody have any questions for Ashley? Let's take a couple minutes just to I'll comment while we're waiting for anybody. I wanted to acknowledge that you said that it was that retreat that you went to that changed your life. That was kind of like an aha moment. I just wanted to, tease that out again, because I think some coaches can maybe not take calls or events as seriously because they don't see the point of them, as they don't get how important they can be. But like, just number one, like if you got just anybody who's been here for the past almost hour, look what you would have missed if you didn't show up for this call. Like, just number one, like, this was just everything that she said was gold. But like, these events can be so transformational. So I just wanted to bring that up. And making sure that Super Saturdays are, this is what I wanted to know, how Josh got you to find your limiting beliefs. Do you remember how he pulled that out of you? Like, what that process looked like?
Yes. And I don't have the right notebook in front of me. I don't think. Nope, not the right notebook. Okay, so he asked everybody, we went around the circle, so he had to do it out loud. But he asked everybody, number one, what does your life look like in 10 years? No boundaries, no limits. You imagine the perfect life. What does your life look like? And so everybody goes around, and like, I remember mine. I don't remember what mine was then, but they were like little itty bitty baby goals. Like, I could not, but I was like, well, I'd probably live in the same house because I'm content with my house. I'd probably drive similar cars and whatever. Now I'm like, dude, I live in like $1 million house, and I have a Camaro that sits in my garage when I want to go on date night, and my husband drives a $100,000 Ford Raptor, and I drive a friggin' Range Rover, and like, I have a beach house, and I have a lake house, and I have a boat, and whatever. But so that's the question number one. What does your life look like in 10 years? With absolutely, and it's not like, what did Beachbody do for your life? Like, the perfect life. What does it look like? And then the second question was, okay, so if you know that, or no, that's not how he asked it. He asked, if you knew you couldn't fail at this business, maybe that's what it was. If you knew you couldn't fail at this business, what would your life look like in 10 years? And then the second question was, okay, so you have these great, grandiose things you're pushing for. Why can't you achieve them? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Because usually I've discovered, because I've had like a gajillion limiting beliefs come up since that retreat, and I have to walk myself through this all the time. I had a really ugly one come up right before Summit that I felt like I wasn't worthy to walk the stage at Summit. And that you have to, like, when you ask yourself, with the whole Summit thing, perfect example, because I had to find this one on my own. Why am I not worthy to walk the stage at Summit? Why am I so afraid of walking the stage at Summit? And it's usually quiet. It's not like this blaringly loud. And then your brain realizes it said it, so it tries to cloud it with other stuff. So you have to be like really listening, because it's like the very first little thought you get. And sometimes it's not like perfect, like mine wasn't perfectly, because mom and your dad fought, and your dad was crazy, and your parents got divorced, and multi-level marketing ruined your parents, and whatever. Like, it didn't get that in depth, but it was, well, because I watched what happened to my mom when she was good at multi-level marketing, and then I had to take it apart. So my whole one with Summit was all about, well, because like, you're walking across the stage as a 3-star, but like, your team helped. Those are your diamonds. Your diamonds aren't getting to walk across the stage with you. You shouldn't be walking across the stage. Your diamonds should be walking across the stage. And it's like little things like that. It's the first thing you hear. So then you have to grab onto it, and then you have to rip it apart. And I've totally noticed it helps if you write it on paper, so that you can like write it down, that you're like, whoa, what was that? No. Little, yes. And I talk about my mean girl. Who was it that talked about this on the National Wake Up Call? Somebody talked about this on National Wake Up. Ruth Schroner. Mm-hmm. Yes. She talked about how you name it. Yeah. And my mean girl, hopefully she never watches this, because I'm going to be honest, it's a girl on my team. She's not sponsored by me, but she's on my team. My mean girl's name is Harley. And when Harley says stuff, I'm like, whoa, Harley, no, you don't, no, sit down and shut up. Like, I am very like, oh no, you didn't, girlfriend. Like, I bring that whole side out, because you don't get to like, no, Harley, sit down, shut up. So but it helps to put a name to it. So when you hear the limiting belief, and especially while your brain is learning the affirmation that counteracts it, it helps to call your limiting belief by a name. So it can be whatever you want. And they talk about this in Kick-Ass from Mel Robbins. Seriously, let's start counting. How many personal development books have I mentioned? But she talks about this naming thing too, that she names hers Sharon, or she calls it Shut Up Sharon. So, but that's, so when you find a limiting belief, it's usually attached to some sort of goal or something you feel unworthy of, or something that's happening that you're like self-sabotaging. So if you're self-sabotaging losing weight, there's a limiting belief there. If you're self-sabotaging sticking to your journey, there's a limiting belief there. So then you ask yourself, like, why am I not worthy of hitting X goal? And it's usually the first little, and then again, your brain will almost lose it the second it hears it, because your brain doesn't want you to find the limiting belief.
Hang on. Am I still muted? No, I'm not. Okay. I wrote down the list, guys.
Okay.
So I'll drop it. I'll drop the list in the event. So if you want to, I'm not going to have a PDF checklist necessarily, but the words, the titles that I wrote down, I'll put it in the event.
And I have a PDF if you follow me on Instagram, in my link tree. Okay. In my link tree is my list of personal development books, because personal development is like one of my pillars.
It's in my
I talk about it a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. We as much as I would love, oh my gosh, I would love so much to sit here and talk to you. You have to go work out, and we have to go. Some of us feel like hitting goals tonight. But let me pull out anything that I think that maybe I can address. Someone asked about focusing during your power hour when you have kids, and someone asked about an approach to invite people when you don't know them. How do you invite quickly? Do you wait till you know them more? Could you answer those real quick, and then we'll close it up?
Yes. So focusing on my power hour, I always do it when my kids are asleep. Always. So because I am way too distracted. So I do it when my kids are asleep. And my oldest is 4. So I do have pretty little kids. But again, that's a mindset thing. If you have older kids and you're like, well, my kids don't nap, you also have older kids who are a little more self-sustaining than my kids. So it's a mindset thing that maybe your kids will be content with a movie and they'll actually sit there and watch it the full hour and a half, or my 4-year-old won't. She'll watch it for 20 minutes and then she has to come ask me 50,000 questions. So I find a way to distract my kids, whether it's they're napping, she's watching a movie, she's playing with the iPad next to me, whatever. It's never like on the fly, and my phone is always in my hand because I want to get in and get it done. And then the invite thing, I only invite people who are acting in my stuff. And so it's not, I invite lots of people who have never talked to me before, because my invite says something about like, hey, I don't even customize them anymore. It just says, hey girl, really appreciate all the love and support on my posts lately. It's really hard to be vulnerable, and I mega appreciate the love. So you are awesome. Thank you. Were you interested in learning more about the group I'm doing, or are you just being the world's most supportive friend? And then I end it with like 17 emojis, because that's what I do in my posts. And I never have had someone message me back that they're like, how dare you? You've never messaged me before and you're inviting me? Like, how dare you? I either get, you know what, actually, I do kind of want more info, but I was scared to ask, how do your groups work? Or I get, no, but I'm just being a cheerleader and I think you're freaking awesome and I love you. And then I message back and say, well, I seriously really appreciate the support. So thank you. How was your weekend? How was your day? How's your dog? How was Disneyland? What'd you have for dinner? Whatever. I keep the conversation going so they know I'm not just like messaging you to sell you and then I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And you better believe when I get people who randomly message me to ask about a group, I scroll back through our conversation and I invited them 1 or 2 months ago. I do not invite people so they'll say yes today. I invite people so they'll say yes in 2 months. So the more invites you send now, the more yeses you're going to get in 2 months.
Yes. I think that exactly, Chris, it's my job. That is it. So that's a great place to end. Seriously, Ashley, this was such solid content, and you definitely inspired me. Yes, Chris said just what our team needed. But seriously, I love you. You're amazing. I'm so glad that we connected. Totally divine that we've connected. But we do, all of us appreciate your time. I look forward to hooking up with you and talking to your team. But have a
So
great.
excited.
I'll be looking forward to cheering you on your goals this year. Congrats on all your success. I'm really excited. I'm really happy for you. But we'll be in touch soon. But everyone have a great night, and I'll be dropping some of my notes in the event. So again, have a great night. Good night, everyone.